Hello and welcome to my channel, Bevvy with Beth. I'm Beth, and here on this channel I talk all about polycystic ovarian syndrome, symptoms, how to cope with them, and how my personal journey with PCOS is going. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below to catch my videos every week. And today we're going to be taking a look at how I got myself back into ketosis after the Christmas holidays. So today I am topping up on my sisterhood tea from PCOS to Wellness. If you don't follow me on Instagram, then you might not have checked out PCOS to Wellness yet. I highly recommend it. I will have a link to her website down below where she has lots of PCOS supporting products for different stages of where you're at and what it is you're trying to improve with your cycle. So definitely go and check her out. But I wanted to talk about, this is just a very small part of how I'm trying to get myself back on track. Again, on Instagram, I did mention that I kind of went all out. I mean, it had always been the plan to eat some normal foods during the Christmas time, you know, the mince pies, the chocolates, the candy canes, the biscuits, the crackers, just everything, absolutely everything. But I hadn't quite meant for it to go on for quite so long as it did, because we went into another lockdown in November, which meant I couldn't do anything for my birthday. Pretty much from my birthday until the 31st of December, I was eating pretty much whatever I wanted. And of course, that meant adding more sugar into my diet, which became a perpetual cycle of, again, getting back into that insulin spikes, can't get any energy from the food that I'm eating, so wanting to eat more, and so on and so forth. So once we got into the actual Christmas holidays, I'd already planned to be eating more root vegetables and having more sugar in my diet anyway, so I didn't hold back during that time. Set a time limit for myself so that on the 1st of January, I was going to be getting myself back into ketosis as quick as possible. And I just wanted to add a little disclaimer in here that I'm not talking about going on a diet because I feel like I need to lose a lot of weight, although I have gained weight over that holiday period. Really, it isn't so much the weight loss that I'm really looking for, although I know and hope that it will be part of the process. What I'm really trying to get back to is feeling great. So it's been a real wake up call for me to realize how bad I used to feel all the time. That was literally how I used to live my life. And I can't keep doing that. And having 2 weeks off of work meant that there were lots of things that didn't really matter. If I wasn't sleeping so well, I could take a nap. If my brain fog was really bad, I didn't actually have to concentrate on anything or pass information on to anybody in any kind of vital way. So it didn't matter too much. But I knew once I got back into work, I needed to have my energy levels back. I just wanted to be a productive member of a society. So I knew that I wanted to get that done before I started back at work, which was today, Monday the 4th. So having the first on Friday, that gave me 3 days to kind of crash course back into ketosis and get myself mentally much better prepared for actually participating in work. So that's why that was my main goal, was getting my health back, getting my brain functioning again. But also I'm being very strict with what I'm eating and doing long stretches of fasting and really forcing myself back into ketosis much harder, much faster than I ever have before. So I'm going to be talking about what I ate, not in terms of numbers of calories and that kind of thing, but just to give you an idea of what it was. But this isn't necessarily what I'd recommend if this was the first time you were trying to get into ketosis. Do check out my tips for keto video, because if you haven't been in ketosis, especially if you've never gotten so far into ketosis that you are what's called fat adapted, which is where all of your cells in your body are ready and working on fat alone and are not looking for the sugar any longer, which can take anywhere between 6 and 8 weeks of being in ketosis for the first time. If you haven't been through that process before, then this would be incredibly restrictive. You'd get terrible keto flu for at least a week, and it wouldn't be a fun experience, and it would feel like keto wasn't for you. So I do not recommend this if you haven't been in ketosis before, but if, like me, you've done keto for a while and maybe you've either slipped off the wagon because of Christmas, maybe you found it too restrictive on the social side of things and you've kind of let it slip, but now you want to get back into it, then this definitely could be a good way of getting back fairly quickly. I personally feel like I got back into ketosis on Sunday, yesterday, and today, although I've had some slight cravings because it's only the third day that I've been fully sugar-free, I don't feel completely without withdrawal, but I'm definitely in ketosis and everything is running much better. I'm not getting any kind of shakiness or dizziness or strong hunger pangs throughout the days. So it's definitely worked for me. I started this on January the 1st, which was Friday just gone. Friday was a bit harder than I was expecting. It started quite well. Good morning. It is the 1st of January 2021. So I've started my morning off with my gingerbread green tea by Twinings. And it is technically the afternoon now. I've stayed in bed all of the morning because obviously we stayed up to see the new year in last night. So I didn't bother to get up knowing that I was going to try and avoid having breakfast and things to kind of get me as far into ketosis as I can do for today. So now I'm going to make a low carb brunch. I just need to go and find out if my parents are joining me or not and how much I would need to cook. And I'll just show you what it is we're going to have.
Searching for something that ain't lost. Have we got our lines crossed? We're wasting time on stuff that doesn't really matter, while wishing for something better. I try to fix things that weren't broken, misunderstandings and words unspoken. We fall apart, and I won't dare to say, do you feel the same way? Maybe you don't wanna know, but you don't see what you have in front of you. Or maybe I'm not enough for you, so maybe I should go. If I had known from the start, this wouldn't have ended with broken hearts. Cause I don't wanna waste my time.
Originally, I'd planned not to eat anything really that day until the dinner time, but I was so hungry by 1 o'clock that I did then end up cook myself some brunch. Being at my parents' meant that they were providing me with dinner, so I decided to be lenient on the dinner, and Mum did actually do some sweet potato like crisps with beef and peas and some other things. I didn't really recall what it was, but because I wasn't really concentrating on it. I wanted to get through, I wanted to have as little sugar as possible during the day on Friday to get me in the headspace of I don't eat sugar all the time. But it did mean then when I got to the end of the day, it was a bit of a failure. So I had the dinner, I knew that was going to happen anyway, and the sugar cravings were so strong that I did then up eating more sugar again on the Friday evening. There's a difference between restricting yourself to help you get to a better place and then restricting yourself and punishing yourself. Saturday, I woke up and just made myself a little coffee, which unfortunately was disgusting. It was not good coffee. We'd run out of the good stuff and we went to go and get more of the good stuff, and the place that sells it was closed. So we're left with some, I don't even know what it was, not good stuff. So I didn't really drink much of that coffee at all. And then we were going out for a walk. So my mum was making a soup for her and dad, and I had my own bone broth, which I brought with me to, again, help me get through the hunger and to kind of do a fat fast as much as I could, avoid all sugars and carbs and really not eat a lot at all, and then just have the bone broth. So I made up a bone broth stew soup thing to take with me on our walk.
Hey, I wish you could see yourself just sitting there on my chair. I'm staring.
And the walk itself was really difficult, not in like a hiking tough walk kind of way, but it was freezing cold, hailing on and off, vicious wind, and just wasn't pleasant. Wasn't a pleasant walk to do at the best of times, but when one is starving and going through sugar withdrawal, definitely not fun. We had the soup when we got there, did a very small walk, and then headed back again. And that's when Mum and Dad took me back to my house. And this made things a lot easier because, as I said, I took everything from my house that had carbs or sugar in it and took it to my parents to get it all consumed before the end of the year. So then Saturday night, it was literally impossible for me to have any kind of carbs. And it definitely was difficult because I had gotten very cold, and unfortunately my fire is broken. I'll talk about that in another vlog because that's a whole other saga. But my fire was broken, so although I can keep my house relatively warm because I do have central heating, you don't, at the end of the day when it gets really, really cold, I don't have that intense heat that I get from a fire. Anyway, I just really miss my fire. So it was very cold and I was very hungry. So I had a pretty hearty dinner of some burger patties that I can get that are basically carb free. And I just had that with some of the cheese that I had left over and some lettuce. And that was then my dinner. And it was I had quite a big portion, but it definitely got me through then the evening. I did wake up very early on Sunday morning feeling quite hungry, but didn't get up. I knew I didn't want to get up anyway because it's my last day of holiday. So I just stayed in bed for as long as possible. And actually when I got up, then I'd kind of gone past that hunger point. So I just made myself a little cup of green ginger tea like I normally do, and sat and drank that for a while I woke up. I then realised I actually didn't have anything for breakfast. So I did have to take a trip to the store to get some food, or mainly to get some eggs so that I could make myself, again, a decent brunch. So I cooked that up then on Sunday at about 1:30.
There's a new day that will come again tomorrow. There's a new day to wash away the pain.
And after having that, I think with the added fat, the salmon, I hadn't had salmon for quite a while. And I think I kind of really needed that bit of the omega-3 as well to help everything get a little bit less inflamed. I really wasn't hungry after that. I'd had it quite late, a fairly decent sized portion. So I had a little bit, I had some chicken with a bit of cheese and the packets of, I don't know if I've ever shown you them before, but they're little seaweed thins, and that got me through until today. And today was obviously different than it has been for many weeks. I was back at work and I got up and gave myself quite a slow start, and then made breakfast. So I had breakfast at about half past 9, started work at 8:30, didn't have breakfast until about 9:30. And then things went a little bit wonky. Again, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know what happened. But I ended up having somebody come to the house. I made a plan where I had breakfast at 9:30, and then at 11:30, a bulletproof coffee. And at 1 o'clock, I was going to have my lunch. And somebody ended up turning up at my house to do my electrical testing, like check thingy around my house. And so I couldn't use anything. I couldn't use the cooker to cook my soup or anything like that. So I didn't end up having lunch until 1:30. So I was very hungry at that point. And certainly when you're doing fasting, getting yourself back into keto, not eating many carbs, all that kind of thing, I wouldn't normally like to push myself where I get that hungry before I eat, because you don't want your body to start panicking and thinking that you're deprived of food, that you can't get hold of food, rather than it being just fatty foods. So your body gets used to not having the carbohydrate energy, and it's going to use the fat energy. If you don't have any food, then your body can go into a bit of a panic mode and just hold on to everything. And it doesn't help with the weight loss, and it doesn't help with accessing the fat that you have stored in your body. So normally I would not push myself like that. And now I'm going to cook myself some salmon stir fry. So it's definitely got me back into ketosis. That's how I did it this time. It's not been the easiest, because of the circumstances with being having access to sugar on the Friday evening, having that terrible cold walk on the Saturday, not having the best heating in my house right now, not having the normal heating in my house right now, has made the evenings feel very cold and miserable a little bit. It is remarkable, the energy difference, how much better I feel just in those couple of days, just those 3 days worth of not having sugar has been really life-changing. I haven't done any weighing or anything like that because I don't want to know how much I put on over Christmas. I'm going to keep tracking all of my food and all of those kind of things, and then I'll do a video about the kind of more the weight loss side of it. So that's pretty much it for how I got into ketosis. If you have any questions for me about how I knew what to eat, what I put in my recipes, or anything like that, then feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll be happy to answer them. But that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.